Hello, everyone. I am so excited. Today we've got with us Aiden Batar. He is the Director of Migration and Refugee Services for Catholic Community Services of Utah. And today we're going to talk about the foster program for unaccompanied minors coming into the United States. This is such a controversial topic today, and the need is so great. You don't want to miss this episode. Please stick around.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
This episode is made possible via the support of our sponsors, including Johnson & Johnson's Caring Crowd. Batar, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Devin, for allowing me to come to the show.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you and so grateful that you would take the time to do this. I know you're extraordinarily busy. A lot of us think of the problem of unaccompanied minors arriving at the border or of children being separated from their parents as a very recent phenomenon. But that's not altogether correct, is it?
Actually, this phenomena is not, very recent. Catholic Community Services, we have been dealing with this unaccompanied refugee minors since 1970s, and but the issue in the border we have been dealing for the last couple of years.
It's become much worse. Even during the end of the Obama administration, it began to really spike, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these children that are leaving the Central America, it has been an ongoing for the past couple of years due to the crime and violence and inhumane conditions in those countries in Central America. And that's why we're seeing these children fleeing their home countries and coming to the United States. And there are thousands of them right now that are in the federal custody. And some of those children, we have them into our refugee foster care program right now.
So you and I spoke about 6 weeks ago, and you said you needed 90 families to host foster children right away. How are you coming on that?
So right now, Catholic Community Services Unaccompanied Refugee Minor Program or Refugee Foster Care Program, we currently have about 100 children in our care. But we are always looking into foster families because as we are seeing the crisis in the border and many children are fleeing and coming to our southern border, those children are going to need families that can, take them into their homes to foster them until they either be reunited with their families or, and instead of these children being in the, federal custody, we wanted to give these children a home, a loving, caring parents that can take care of these children. And we, Catholic Community Services, have resources that can help families who are willing to take those children. We can train the families, we can license them, and also we provide all the support that they need in order for those families to take these children. Because we believe that these children do not believe in custody of the federal, shelters, because those are right now, those shelters are overloaded. I mean, there's a lot of children and they're not getting all the basics. They're not getting the education they need. These children have been separated from their families. So they need a place that, feel like home, that can take care of them. So we need a lot of families that can take these children.
What qualifies a family to host a foster child that's in this situation?
So I think the best way would be, and I'll go in detail about the requirement. Catholic Community Services offers orientations. So anyone who is interested in becoming a foster parent, we would like them to attend one of our foster care orientation that we do it so they can hear about the program and also can get about all the requirement about becoming a foster parent. Any family who is willing to become a foster parent, we will go through the requirements. So just to give you a basic example, what qualifies them, we want to make sure that, families, the husband and wife living together, they could have children. It doesn't matter whether they have children or not. We have to make sure that your home passes the, home inspection that we will do to make sure that, the home study that would do, you pass that. And we run a background check to make sure that individuals that are becoming foster families don't have any criminal records. And then the rest would be, a licensing requirement, which is, for foster families that they have to take a training, 30 to 40-hour training that you have to take, and then you will be licensed by the state of Utah to become a foster parent. It won't cost you anything. All the expenses will be paid by Catholic Community Services, and we just need, people that have a heart that can, parent those children.
Do the foster families have to be Catholic? Someone might ask that.
No, not at all. Families don't have to be Catholic. In fact, we don't care about religion. We want to make sure that, people have a heart to foster these children. That's the main thing that we're looking. We don't look about anybody's religion at all.
Now, you have an interesting personal perspective on coming to the United States that's relevant to this conversation. Tell us a little bit about the circumstances under which you came.
So my family and I, we were the first Somali refugee to settle in the state of Utah through Catholic Community Services back in the early 90s. And we fled our home country because of the civil war that broke out in 1990. And, we lost a lot of family members, including my own son. And we could not stay there. And so we had to flee and to seek refuge in our neighboring country in Kenya, where we stayed for a couple of years before we granted refugee status to come to the United States. And that's why we ended up in Utah. And ever since, we lived in Utah, and we made our home in Utah. And, I've been working with Catholic Community Services since 1996. And, this is the best job that I ever had. And I see that, individuals who went through the same circumstances that I went through, and, I don't know I can ever pay it back of what I received from this community who helped me, gave me my life back, gave me a home, gave me a job, gave an education for my children. And now I consider Utah as my home.
Batar, what do you say to those who might argue that we shouldn't care for these young people who are coming across the border from Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras because it just encourages more to come? That's the kind of thing we sometimes hear. How do you respond to that?
I think when we hear about leaders in the United States saying that America is full and cannot take any more, I think that is not what America is about. America, is a place where people can come here to seek freedom, and also to, because if we don't provide that freedom to individuals who are escaping violence and crimes and political unrest, where else will they go? So these children are fleeing violence in their home countries. I don't think any parent will send their children away from their home because parents want their children to be safe. That's why we're seeing a lot of these children coming from Central America coming to the United States. There is a lot of gang violence, which is either children, they have to join those gang, and risk their life, or they have to leave and seek a refuge in the United States. Because when those children come to the United States, I have seen what they have went through, these children. As soon as they come to our program and we place them with a love and caring parents, families with them, you would see these children getting their childhood life back and going to school. It's like what we wanted, the same thing what we want for our children. They just want education. They want to have their childhood life back. And of the 100 children that we currently have, and many other hundreds that went through our program, they were successfully, integrated into our community. Many of them right now, they're going to college. Some of them finished college. Some of them are joining our forces, and doing a lot of great work for our community. And I think we need to show them, love and caring, and we need to welcome those children that are coming into our country and help them whatever support that they need. If we close our doors, these children, they'll lose their lives.
Yeah. What are you most proud of having accomplished since you came to the United States?
I lived in the United States for over 25 years, and the first 2 years have been the hardest time because that's when I was trying to settle in. And then when I get this job working at Catholic Community Services, working with refugees and immigrants was the most rewarding job that I ever hold in my entire life. And I never regret it because I see the difference that we are making the lives of people that we serve every day. As refugees coming off the plane, coming to Utah, and we helping them settle. And you see that, the children going to school and, learning the language, getting the education that they never dream of in their life, and graduating from college and having a job. Families we seeing, reunited with their loved one. Every day, it is a joy to do such a job, and it is the right thing to do by helping a human being fellow, and that you're giving their life back. And I would like people to come and join us so they can see the work that we do by volunteering or by at least becoming a friend with a refugee. Then you will see what I'm talking about, because I will never tire of what I do and what we do at Catholic Community Services every day, and by helping people giving their life back. That is what it's all about. And also, we helping people become self-sufficient. We don't want people to become dependent on public benefits. Refugees, as soon as they arrive in Utah, within 6 months, they learn the language, they become employed, they contribute to our economy, and also they don't have to ask help for anyone. Whatever income that they receive from their jobs, they pay their bills and they pay taxes.
Now, Batar, you've been at this a while. What's the most important lesson you've learned?
I think one of the main thing that I learned is that, as a refugee coming to a new country for myself, hope is one of the things that it never dies from you. That is what I came with. I had a hope that someday I will go somewhere safe and I could raise my family and I can make a new friends and I can be part of this community. But one thing that was more important for me was that the people who welcomed me, who helped me give my life back, I will never forget about them. I love them more than I love my family, and because they're part of my family, and those volunteers who helped me when I first arrived. And regardless, I think of, our fellow human beings who need help, because tomorrow, if you need the same help, treat people like you wanted to be treated. I think that is the important lesson that I have learned, how Americans have a big heart and helping others who are fleeing persecution. That is what America is all about. And that's what I learned, which I have never seen anywhere else in the world. And don't let that anyone take away from us. America is about, helping others, by welcoming newcomers, by helping the strangers among us. I think in America, we do such a great job in that. And that's what I learned all these years that I've been in this job and that I've been in America. But what we're seeing now, it looks like that our leaders, they want to take that away from us. But I think as an Americans, no one can take away that from us. America is about, welcoming others who need help.
Batar, it's interesting that, most refugees and immigrants who come to the United States thrive and are successful and focus on their families and themselves with good reason. You've chosen to focus on helping those who came behind. Why was that so important to you?
It is very important because if you look at the history of people coming to the United States, those who came first sacrificed a lot by paving the way for others who would follow them. Because I remember when I first arrived, it was very difficult. I did not have no friends. I didn't even have a place of worship, a place I can go and worship. But over the years, we had to build all this, to make sure that the newly arrived refugees who were coming behind us, so they don't have to go through the same difficulties that we experienced before them. So, every newcomers that come to a new country, the first wave always struggle the most. So others will pave the way. My children don't have to go through the same circumstances what I went through. I can, proudly say that, I sacrificed for my life so my children can have a better education, a better life. My children went to school, they graduated from college, and they have their own life now. And, and I want them, their children, to have better life than what they have right now. And I think that's what it's all about for any new generation that comes to this country, where they have to go through to pave the way for others who would follow them.
Well, you have certainly lived that mantra. But Batar, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We really, really appreciate it. I know you're busy and you've got to get on to your next thing, but before you go, would you take just a minute and tell people how they can learn more about Catholic Community Services of Utah, perhaps how they could learn more about Catholic Community Services in their own community, and then how they can connect with you personally, especially if they want to help as a foster parent?
Absolutely. People can go to visit our website, www.ccsutah.org, or you can just Google search Catholic Community Services of Utah, and then go to the Refugee Foster Care Program. And just to say that, Refugee Foster Care Program that Catholic Community Services administered, it is one of only about a dozen programs in the entire country that helps the unaccompanied refugee minors in the United States. So in Utah, Catholic Community Services is the only agency helping these children. So if you would like to be part of this program, please visit our website and contact us, and we would love to have you and help us so we can help these children that need a place, these children that need a home. And and we cannot do without our community. So thank you so much for listening and watching this video, and please contact us.
Thank you, Batar. We're so grateful for the time you've taken to be with us today, and we wish you every success in finding good homes for these young people coming across the border who need asylum and a safe place to finish growing up.
Thank you, Devin. I really appreciate it for giving me this opportunity.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Thank you.
At Caring Crowd, we believe everyone has the power to make a difference. Through our crowdfunding platform for community health, we empower passionate people to drive real change. Whether you work for a nonprofit organization, volunteer, or want to get involved for the first time, you can post a campaign on Caring Crowd. Join us, because caring is where change begins.
Thank you for listening. Devin Thorpe's mission is to end extreme poverty, improve global health, and mitigate climate change before 2045 by finding and sharing the stories of those who are doing the most good. You can join with other listeners to accelerate Devin's mission by visiting helpdevin.org right now.